Alright, this is Fairlane 400 project, or maybe Fourlane 500. Anyway, it's a 63 Ford Fairlane. Just arrived in our home of Washington. Just trucked it across the United States from North Carolina. It is rough, but it's ours. Interesting story how this car came about. My buddy has a auto body shop in North Carolina that I drive by on my way home from work every day, and this was in the driveway, so it interested me being a Ford guy, and so I pulled in to see what it was and got to looking it over, and it was still covered in pine needles and leaves and everything else. And my buddy says, why don't you look under the hood? And so I popped the hood and I went, oh, it's got a 351 Cleveland. That's odd. Obviously didn't come with that. They didn't make the Cleveland in 63. And I wish it was here to show you now. He says, no, that's not a Cleveland. You better look closer. And this thing had a Boss 302 in it. Wow. And a top loader 4-speed. And so getting to look a little bit closer, we look in the back seat. There's a pair of rotten old slicks, a pair of skinny front tires sitting back here in the back seat. So obviously somebody's drag car project from way back when. There's a hole in the floor where the 4-speed used to be. And so the deal was, the customer who owned the car, brought it in, acquired it from a golfing buddy who apparently drag raced it sometime in the 60s or 70s, I guess, and quit and parked it in the woods. And this gentleman is into 63 Fairlanes and wanted one to restore. And so he was given the car provided he pulled the motor and trans out and gave it back to the original owner. So that was the deal. Free car, but you don't get the Boss 302 and the 4-speed, which was completely seized, by the way. I don't know if it was any good or not, but engine was pulled, trans was pulled, given back, and then the trim was removed and such to look over this car in an effort to see if it was going to be a candidate for restoration. And I think this was the real problem with it. So we get this hood open. Biggest problem was the rust in this trunk seal area. At least that's what turned him off. And he decided it was too big a project for restoration, not a good candidate. He's probably right. There's some holes down here. There's some Swiss cheese up here. Obviously some surface stuff. Pretty good dink right here in the eyebrow. And rusty bumpers. But anyhow, he decided not to. It went into a shed out back of the shop and it sat for, I don't even remember, years and years. In the meantime, I acquired a 54 Ford Crestline that I gave to my son, and we were going to, it was rougher than this car, believe it or not, and we were going to lead sled it and just quickie. But then he spotted this sitting in the shed and decided he liked it a lot more, and it was a 2-door car, so obviously considerably more desirable than a 54 Crestline. So I got the car for 200 bucks, and we haven't done anything with it yet. I didn't know what we were going to do, but the decision has been made. We purchased this chassis, which is a 1998 Ford Explorer. Why in the world would I do that? Well, it's low mileage engine running We're in Washington. It has four-wheel drive. It has torsion bar front suspension, so I'm hoping we can still keep the car nice and low. We'll have to put blocks in the rear because it is a straight axle. Not sure if we're going to keep the leafs or go to a 4-link, but the plan is to take that body, cut the floor out, and place it on this chassis. I could not find any videos of such a thing. I know it's been done. I know even pro shops like West Coast Customs have taken like 69 Charger, I think they did, on a late model Charger chassis. So it's been done. I just couldn't find anyone that detailed the process. So this is what we are attempting to do, and I hope to detail the process. But this is it. This is day one. This is ground zero, and we will see what happens. We'll make videos of all the process as much as possible. So that is all for now.